Hi everyone, on this video, we're gonna talk about the man who owned $8.5 million worth of meteorite collections, and he is the Meteorite Man, or king of the private meteorite collectors. The man that I am talking was Mr. Naveen K. Jain. Naveen Jain is an Indian-American business executive, entrepreneur, and the founder and former CEO of Infospace. Infospace briefly became one of the largest internet companies in the American Northwest, before the crash of the dot-com bubble and a series of lawsuits involving Jain. Naveen was born on September 6, 1959. Age 63 years, at Uttar Pradesh, India. Known for founder and former CEO of Infospace. The first meteorite Naveen Jain bought, for $3,000, is a pitted, gray-brown, football-shaped blob that looks like it could have come from a rubble heap. But its weight, 29 pounds, signals that it's no ordinary rock. Rather, it's a 4.6 billion-year-old piece of an asteroid that orbited the Sun between Jupiter and Mars before hurtling to Earth in a barren, cratered expanse called Campo del Cielo, some 600 miles northwest of Buenos Aires. Like many meteorites, it's infused with heavy iron and nickel, evidence of elements that spun around in space before forming planetary bodies. Jain, who made billions on an early internet startup, says he didn't even know that meteorites existed until 2.5 years ago, when he teamed up with two partners to start a new company, Moon Express, which aims to send robotic landers to mine the moon. The company is based at NASA Research Park in Mountain View, California. One day Jain wandered over to the office of a man named Dennis Wingo, who was remastering images of 1960s NASA missions. The gray-brown blob was sitting on Wingo's desk. It seemed like a funky, nice thing, recalls Jain, a hyperkinetic 53-year-old who looks and acts 20 years younger. He said, "It's a meteorite. How do you get one of these? How much is it? $1 million. I'll pay you twice what you paid for it." Jain walked away with the rock and straight into a collecting frenzy. He has since bought 700 meteorites. His collection, worth at least $8.5 million, is arguably the most valuable one in private hands. He built a collection that rivals the best museums in the world, says Martin Horace, a professor at the University of Montana who sold Jain a substantial share of his collection in late 2010. Boom! He jumps in and rises to the top right away. Jain, who lives in a $13 million home in the same Medina, Washington neighborhood as Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, embraced meteorite collecting with characteristic intensity. He talks in an Indian accented staccato that sounds like someone put his voice on fast forward. He snapped up big batches from Horace and from Jay Piatek, a doctor in Indianapolis. Since then he has been filling in gaps with special pieces, like a small chunk of the spectacular meteorite that whooshed through the morning sky on February 15 above the Siberian town of Chelyabinsk, creating a sonic boom that blew out windows and injured 1,200 people. Jain paid $600 for a 5-gram piece that looks like a blackened garbanzo bean. As a child in India, Jain never imagined he would own hundreds of pieces of space debris. His family eked by on his civil engineer father's meager salary. Jain went to college and graduate school on scholarships before immigrating to the US. In 1989 he joined Microsoft. Then, in 1996, he founded Infospace, a company based on the prescient idea that internet content, like stock quotes and weather reports, could be delivered to cell phones. Its market cap rocketed to $37 billion during the dot-com boom, elevating Jain's net worth to $8 billion by 2000. But the next year it crashed back down to earth, and Jain's stake fell to $220 million. In 2003 he started Intellius, an online provider of background checks, which has sprouted 2 subsidiaries. Jain devotes much of his time to nonprofit work, like the X Prize Foundation, which awards cash prizes for technological breakthroughs. "I'm an entrepreneur driven to solve problems," he pronounces repeatedly, like a mantra. And now, too, he is the Meteorite Man. As with all collectibles, rarity and demand define a meteorite's worth. Jain has certainly helped with the latter. Specimens from Mars and from the Moon make up less than 1% of all known meteorites and thus command the highest prices, with the choicest pieces fetching as much as $10,000 a gram, 200 times the price of gold. Witnessed falls. When someone sees the meteorite fall to Earth also add value. Hundreds of meteorites hit the Earth each year, but 99% are unseen and unfound. Jane has one grayish-black Martian meteorite called Nakhla, which landed near an Egyptian village called El Nakhla El Bahariya in 1911. Most meteorites are named for the places they fell or were found. Jane paid $108,000 for his 41-gram piece the size of a ping-pong ball. Not all meteorites look like dull blobs or chunks of coal, especially when they are cut to reveal their interior. Jane has one striking specimen, a fish-shaped, 6-inch-long slice of a piece called Conception Junction. A farmer discovered it in 2006 in a Missouri town of that name. It is a rare, palisite, meteorite, made of a translucent, amber-colored mineral called olivine, sprinkled like chocolate chips through an iron-nickel base. But with meteorites, beauty sometimes takes a back seat to a good story. In 1992, one crashed into a red 1980 Chevy Malibu in Peekskill, New York. Jane owns both a 119-gram slice and a piece of the car's broken taillight. He also owns a slice of a meteorite that burst through the roof of a house in Sylacauga, Alabama, on November 30, 1954, sending a woman to the hospital and landing the incident in the pages of Life magazine. The idea that meteorites represent evidence of the other is ultimately what intrigues Jane. These are things that bring us closer to space, he says. This is the only way to feel with your own hands that the moon, that Mars, that outer space is real. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos.
Hellcat.